Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? What is good? The king, yeah, the king of code is here today, bringing you guys and gals coding. Wow. Advent of Code 2017, Day 2, Part 1. Let's get it. As you walk through the door, a glowing humanoid shape yells in your direction. You there! Your state appears to be idle. Come help us repair the corruption in this spreadsheet. If we take another millisecond, we'll have to display an hourglass cursor. The spreadsheet consists of rows of apparently random numbers. To make sure the recovery process is on the right track, they need you to calculate the spreadsheet's checksum. For each row, determine the difference between the largest value and the smallest value. The checksum is the sum of all these differences. For example, given the following spreadsheet 5195-753-2468, the first row's largest and smallest values are 9 and 1. And their difference is 8. The second row's largest smallest values are 7 and 3, and their difference is 4. The third row's difference is 6. In this example, the spreadsheet's checksum would be 8 plus 4 plus 6, which equals 18. What is the checksum for the spreadsheet in your puzzle input? Alright, so let's copy this over, make a new file, Day 2, Part 1, paste it in. So that's what we should get. I'm going to call this function checksum, and we're just going to pass in one giant string. And actually we need to delete the comments because now they're part of the string. Okay, so that's what we should get. Now let's start defining the function. So def checksum, and this function is receiving one argument, and it's just going to be a string. Now string has many rows, and what we want to do is break that up line by line. So we're going to make a rows variable, and we're going to split the string up, and what we're going to pass in is a Newline character. So to do that, you say, oh no, don't do single quotes, do double quote, \n, and that means take the string and split it up on every new line. So here, I'll print out the before and afters so you can see how the Newline Split works. So as you can see here, before the string is just one thing, but then after it is now an array with 3 strings inside of it, and each string is one line from the previous string. So now that we have rows, if you notice, the items in the array are all strings. We don't want that. We want them to be numbers. So let's do that. We're gonna have to change these to strings. You can take these parentheses off. It's not necessary. They're optional. Okay, and so with every string, we're gonna map. All right, and what we want to do. Okay, so inside, we'll call this a string. And what we want to do is split again, and this will be an array. I'm gonna be printing out some stuff so you can see what happens when we split the string. Okay, so before the strings variable was just an array of strings, and then after, when we set rows equal to something, we now have arrays within arrays, and each array has one number in it. We're getting closer. What we really want is integers. We don't want strings. This might look like a number, but it's still got quotes around it. So to do that, you have to say, you map again, we'll call it inner string. And what we want to do is say, instead of having this string just be a string, we want it to be an integer. So we convert it to an integer with the toI method, toInteger method. And then if we print that out, we should see something different. So we went from an array with multiple numbers inside strings to arrays within arrays, and each array has an integer. So we can work with that. Basically all we've done is turn each line into an array with integers. And now that we have that, we can start making a sum. So let's say sum equals 0, and then we want to go through each of these rows. So say rows.each, and then inside of this block, we'll call each row a row. And then in order to find the checksum, we have to find the smallest number in the row and the largest number in the row, and then find their difference. And easy way to do that is say row.min and row.max. So we have to subtract minimum from maximum, and then whatever we get inside of there, we should add that to the sum. So sum plus equals row max minus row min. And so now if we print sum, we should get 18, like the example said. And we do. Alright, so this works, but we still have to try it with our input. So let's go over here and find the input, and some pretty long bunch of rows, but we'll do the same. Checksum like that, and let's see what we get. We get 18 and 53, 460. Okay, is that what I put down for that day? Is that the correct answer? Yes, 53, 460. So this problem is solved. Now this method is kind of long. It could actually be written a lot shorter, and to do that, since you're only using the each method and you're not using the index at all, instead of using the each method, you can use the reduce method. And what that does is it takes a single argument, which is the starting value, and here we're going to be, instead of having sum outside, we're going to move it inside right here. And you don't really need this parentheses, and you also don't need this equals now. And and then you could just print out what that function returns, and you don't need these those parentheses either, and that should give us the same answers. Whoops. Okay, the problem is that we're using too many methods on one line. So instead, I'm gonna be printing out the answers like this, and that should work. 18, 53, 460, 18, 53, 460. Alright, so that's one simplification. And you could also simplify this even more whenever you're doing this, where you're just calling one method with the map function. You can simplify it by saying string split map and pass in an ampersand symbol block like this. You write the function that you're going to perform on that one thing, on that one item like this, and that should give you the same thing as this. These three lines are equivalent to this line, and we'll see if that still works. It does. And now you could simplify this even more by making it all into one line like that. And you could simplify this even more by just adding this on right here. And you can change this to rows now. Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's as simple as it's gonna get a method with 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and this line doesn't even count. It's just one word. Thanks for watching. See you later.